Hi everyone, how are you? I am Sarah with Divine Love Healing. Welcome to my channel. If you are a current subscriber, that is wonderful. Welcome back. If you're new, I am so glad that you're here and encourage you to subscribe and share if this video resonates with you. I felt called today to do just a quick pick a card reading based on a soul connection. And again, it could be a twin flame, it can be a soulmate, any kind of sacred partner or somebody from your past that you're wondering what's going on with them. You're wondering how they're feeling about you, what they could say to you. If they wanted to express their unrevealed feelings or any regrets or anything like that. And as you guys know, I tend to focus in my readings in general, especially all over it, but in my soul connections readings too, on the healing aspect, right? So I find it challenging. Sometimes I question whether I should keep doing these types of things because these types of videos, as far as, the focus is on someone outside of yourself, wanting to know what they're thinking and obsessing about that. But at the same time, I know how helpful these types of readings have been for me throughout my journey and times when I was lost or I was picking up on certain things and feelings in my intuition. And it was nice confirmation for me to know, validate what I thought was happening. So I would just encourage you, and I'm sure there's going to be messages that come out of this as far as maybe shadows that are being triggered within you, where you need to work on healing yourself, focusing inward, and maybe where you two are mirroring each other. And also, just ultimately at the end of the day, what we all need to do, right? Especially if you're pursuing a sacred partnership, any kind of 5D conscious relationship, is to focus on healing yourself and loving yourself and becoming, one and in union with your masculine, inner masculine, and feminine side. So we all have those energies within us. The way that I channel a lot of times, though, is probably going to come across as if this is a feminine watching. But, take what resonates, toss the rest, and, feel free to flip it, vice versa, your person, however. Sometimes I channel as if your person's talking to you. Sometimes it's just what the cards are saying and what I'm getting. So again, I sometimes go in and out of that. So just we'll take it with a grain of salt here, right? All right. So we're just going to do a quick one. We've got 3 here. We've got number 1 is going to be the Sodalite Crystal Point. Number 2 is the Angel Aura Crystal Ball. And number 3 is the Malachite Pyramid. All right. And before I get started, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the decks that I'm using. And if any jump out at you and you want to know more, you want to know where to buy them or anything like that, just feel free to comment below or contact me otherwise. And my information, again, for personal readings, if you want to look in your personal situation, that's also down below. And there's a link to my Instagram and my Facebook page. So I post a lot of free content there, so check it out. So today we're going to use the Healing Oracle. I think this is or Heal Yourself. I think this is the Heal Yourself cards. The Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue, the Mystic Moon Oracles, which I believe she now calls the Twin Flame Oracle. I bought it before she changed it. It was like right when she was starting to sell cards, so I have the original vintage version. Arrows of Love Oracle by Mystic Moon. Twin Flame Journey Messages, Volume 1 and 2. I've mixed those together into one large deck, and so there's some from each there. That's also Mystic Moon, if I didn't say that. Twin Flame Shadows, Mystic Moon. The Angelic Revelation 144, Naked Flame Healing Messages. Divine Feminine Healing, Mystic Moon Oracles. And then for clarifying, we've got the Celtic Tarot. All right, so without further ado, we're just going to get started now. All right, so number 1, chose number 1. Pile number 1 again was the Sodalite. And although I shuffle these off camera just to save time, I have not seen these. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to just process. Whoa. Okay. What's coming out? But holy crap. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Well, this one's going to be pretty straightforward. If you chose number 1, again, I identify myself as a twin flame. Some people don't like to use labels, but that's perfectly fine. But I would say if you chose number 1, you most likely are dealing with a twin flame connection or what you perceive to be a twin flame connection. Why? Because the twin flame card came out of, I don't know how many cards are in that Oracle deck, probably 40, 50 something cards. Twin flame. All right. We also got perfect match from the Arrows of Love Oracle. We also have from the Romance Angels, worth waiting for, divine timing is at work in your love life. And I mean, how often do we hear that, right? I've been on this journey 3.5 years. Actually, yeah, it's been, as I awakened, yeah, it's been 3.5 years. It's about 3 years since I actually knew consciously what was happening, or at least was starting to understand it, right? And what a twin flame was. So, obviously, you and this person are not together. You probably would not be watching this video, right? You may be in some kind of contact with them, some sporadic communication. You may be wanting to communicate. That might be why you were drawn to this particular crystal. Blue is definitely tied to the throat chakra and communication. But what I'm getting is to communicate. My advice to you, if you chose this, is to continue focusing on yourself, on self-love, right? That's just what I was saying at the beginning of the reading, that this is about, again, if you may be a masculine watching, and that's fine. We all have feminine energy within us, but focus on your nurturing your inner feminine, your emotional health, your body. I mean, even if you're a masculine, you can take, and you should, take cleansing detox baths, take, use essential oils to uplift yourself, get out in nature, hike, connect to water, just focus on yourself. And know that divine timing is at play here. Worth waiting for. That to me says you need to wait to reach out to this person. In the 3D, just let things continue to evolve. It may be a little bit stagnant right now, obviously, because that's the shadow, is that you're just like, okay, there's like he's got like this mesh, like wire mask, and it might be that the masculine, you're wanting them to communicate, and it's stagnant because he's not communicating, he's closed himself off. So it's just saying, have patience, focus on yourself, trust that you're a twin flame. This is a twin flame connection. You are a perfect match. Your hearts are energetically bonded, right? That golden, beautiful light that's in our soul, that bonds us in our heart, that's there. It's coming together. It's not totally fused yet. Not totally there. It's not totally time. So the shadow here is just maybe the masculine not speaking his truth, either with just his feelings or not communicating at all. He's closed off. But just know that, you guys, I can't make this stuff up. I say this. His message in the twin flame journey messages is, you still hold a piece of my heart. You still hold a piece of my heart. You're still connected. You guys are still bound, right? And you always will be, even if he's closed off and hasn't maybe communicated that to you, or isn't communicating just in general right now. He's conflicted. He's very much in his head, because we've got the Five of Wands here. That's about conflict, competition. He's just trying to figure out, I'm getting, if he's capable of this, if he's worthy of this connection, if he's able to, I think the self-love could be, about him, that he's really kind of in hermit mode, going in and discovering himself and loving himself. And as many, people, we always say, you can't love someone else outside of you if you don't love yourself enough first, right? So I'm getting the impression that he is focused inward. And here we have another message. This is from the Angelic Revelation 144 Naked Flame Healing Messages. I am trying to get out of my head and into my heart. I meditate to connect with you in spirit, and my higher self helps guide me to the truth. How beautiful is that? And we were just saying, Five of Wands is all about, being in your head, conflict, competition. He's kind of pulled in a bunch of different directions. I'm trying to get out of my head. I'm trying to focus on this, right? But he's still got some growth, some healing, some learning to do, and healing, as we all do, as each counterpart, right, as mirrors do. I would just encourage you, if you're watching this and you're frustrated because things aren't being said that you need to hear, I just again encourage you to focus on the 5D energy. That's very important right now. Send them love, send yourself love, right? It's again a perfect balance of just and being open to receiving, making sure your heart chakra is open, making sure even though we think as feminines, how many times on this journey, like I know I felt like a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago that I was, quote, ready for this, that I was ready. And so many things have come to show me, no, no, there was still a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of things that need to be done on our own before we can come together with this person. Um, so the message from the Divine Feminine Healing Oracle is lanes. I do not compare myself to other people on this journey of life. I stay in my own lane and let others do the same. So I think this is just kind of, this ties into maybe if the feminine has got the Five of Wands energy she's mirroring, she might be comparing herself to, maybe she's seeing other twins, get into union with their person, or maybe their twin is communicating more, or maybe their twin has expressed their feelings. Maybe their twin has professed their love, right? So there, it raises these doubts and this like, well, maybe I'm not doing something right on my journey because this person's journey is progressing in a different way. And I think this is just saying, like, stay in your lane. All of us on this path, we're going to the same destination, but we might take different routes to get there. And so where, for example, and one of my best friends is a twin as well. And I had like this major tower moment happen a year ago where my twin basically said he didn't feel anything for me, or kind of was just like denying it, like, you definitely feel more than I do, blah blah blah, and like just would not admit that he felt anything. And it was absolutely devastating, but it all had to happen for a reason. And then meanwhile, like, I'm thinking like her connection is progressing a lot faster because her twin has all the time admitted love, admitted feelings. And then he ended up doing the same thing to her this summer. And I was just stunned. But it was ironic because, and he's now since retracted it, but he was kind of just saying, yeah, we should just be friends, and, blah, 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 blah. And I want a different life, and I want this. And it was just devastating, right? The purpose was to trigger this stuff out of us. It's a subconscious thing that happens. But what was amazing was that was one of the things, when that happened to her, that gave me more confidence in my journey. Although it's like, okay, I was comparing myself thinking she was ahead and they were really twins, and I was questioning my connection all along because he hadn't admitted, because he was in this energy. And when that happened, it's like, okay, this is clearly a mask. They're wearing a mask, right? Literally like wearing a mask, not being them true selves because they're scared or because they're trying to trigger us. So just know that just because somebody else's journey is progressing in a different way from yours, a lot of times it all circles back into the same type of things and the reasons. And so you may not understand why their twin might be communicating, or they might be saying that they care for them or whatever. Don't judge anyone else's journey or think that yours isn't progressing, because it's all divine timing. Okay, it's worth waiting for. So if you are wanting confirmation or validation, this person is your twin. I mean, and I don't say that lightly, because it's very rare this card comes out, in any deck that I have. There's a few twin flame cards. So when it does, it's definitely means something for sure. So congratulations. I think that was actually a beautiful reading. Just be patient, communicate in 5D, work on loving yourself. And the more you love yourself and open your heart, the more they're going to mirror that back to you in divine timing. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to number 2 now. Okay, number 2 was the Angel Aura little crystal ball, which is the cutest. Just love it. It's so adorable. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. Holy crap. I don't even know what to say, you guys. Okay, and we did, just on this one, we did have 2 of the angelic revelation messages that wanted to come out, but this one also appears to be a twin flame connection, for sure, because we got the twin, in the angelic revelation deck, there's only a few cards that I'm aware of that she mentions twin flames. So, let's see what we've got here. I'm getting... There's something that this person that you're, I think it's, it could be you or your person that you're watching for. I don't know if they have a karmic situation. I'm not really picking up on that. Although maybe in the past they chose someone else. They could still be married, but I'm not getting that. I mean, we do have the wedding card here for the romance angels. This situation involves marriage, but I'm getting that it's you and your person that the future holds. Which again, energies change. I'm not one. If you've not watched my videos, I don't typically predict things like timing. I mean, sometimes if something's really strong and it comes through, because people have free will and energies can change on a whim, right? I could do the same pull in an hour and it could come out differently. But as of right now, what I'm tapping into is we have the wedding card and we have union. I mean, you guys, if you're familiar with this Mystic Moon Oracle, there's a lot of cards in here that are not positive cards. And we got the twin flame one in number one, and we got the union one here. So, wow. There could be something with this recent full moon that maybe has awakened this person as far as, the connection that you two share. And maybe I feel like, they've been scorned in the past, maybe never thought that they would be the type that would marry you or them. Something, I'm getting that something went down potentially with the two of you that you maybe haven't communicated in a while. There was, because the shadow, I mean, we've got the scorned, your words linger in my mind, and say what you mean. And so notice how she's kind of walking, like turning her back and walking away from him. It's like something is unfinished there, because this adds up to a 9. The 1 and the 8 adds up to a 9. We've got scorned. We've got the messenger card, which is tweet, tweet. And the little bluebirds for me are just my own personal kind of totem, as far as like when I get this or see blue feathers, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's time to communicate. It's time to reach out. There's something that was left unsaid. Okay. But at the same token, there's also something in one or both persons' situations that has to be closed out, because our tarot card is the world, okay, which for me is closing out cycles. We also, just to confirm this, we've got closed from the divine feminine healing. I trust that certain doors are closed for a reason. I do not continue to bang on them. Okay, so I mean, this one's a little bit, I think there's a lot of different scenarios potentially at play here. The world, it's like the feminine is saying, I trust certain doors are closed for a reason. I do not continue to bang on them. She maybe, has given up on him. And the reason could be is that she knows he's not ready to give her the marriage and the union that she wants. And she's been scorned, and she's kind of like, I'm not going to communicate with you. I'm not doing this until you're ready. Because the message, one of the messages that popped out from him to her is your person to you, however you want to take it. Right now, I could only offer you sex. I'm not able to give you what you deserve or desire, except for in the bedroom at this time. Okay, so coupled with the world enclosed, it's like, I think she's like, you know what? I'm just not interested in sex. I want all of it, and maybe the world too could be like, I want somebody to give me the world. I want marriage. I want union. I want communication. I want somebody who says what they mean, who expresses their feelings. Like, it could be a situation where you're just done and you're walking away. Now, so take that, how it resonates. If you feel like something has scorned you badly enough that you're closing the door on this, and it's for your own health, if somebody's only your emotional, physical health, somebody's just using you for sex, they've said that they're using you for sex, and you're just like, you know what, I want more than this. I want a union, a sacred partnership. Then I would just encourage you, that's what you should be focusing on. But I'm also getting, for some of you, that something's left unsaid. The fact that we've got the messenger card, the say what you mean, scorned, your words linger in my mind, that maybe the closure needs to take place as far as clearing the air and clarifying, in a message, say what you mean. If there was some sort of misunderstanding, or you think, you've had this ooch or this nudge that it's like, gosh, I don't know if that came across what I was trying to convey. you just, you might need to reach out and clear the air with them. And if you're realizing, all right, they're not in the right space now, and they are giving off this vibe of like, I'm not able to give you what you want if I'm only just going to use you for sex, or which a lot of times I don't feel like twins do that. I don't know. I mean, that's just been my experience, because the feelings are just so overwhelming that they just usually just run, they just communicate and then don't actually, but everybody's situation's different. But if they're not giving you, if you've expressed that these are the things that you want, and it could just be too, like that in that last one that they've said something to scorn you, they maybe didn't mean what they said, and so that can be as well. So if you feel like you've been needing some sort of closure with the situation or clarification, I would definitely reach out. I'm getting that's strong with the messenger card here. Now, just be aware that the two messages that popped out in the one deck, the Angelic Revelation deck, the one that says I can only offer you sex, this says twin flame sexual union could result in pregnancy. So just be cognizant of that if you are going to, decide to just have a night with your twin, which nobody would judge you for that, and that's what you wanted to do, just be careful if that's not something that you're wanting. But here again, we have union mentioned twice, which is interesting. Sexual union, wedding. So I feel like, again, take it however it resonates. If this person is clearly not going to give you the things that you want, then I would say close that out, focus on you. And if as you work on yourself and raise your vibration, they come forward, awesome, excellent, great. But maybe you're, going to attract someone else who is going to give you the things that you want and deserve. So that is my advice for you guys for pile 2. So I hope that resonated. All right, so pile 3. Pile 3 was the Malachite Pyramid. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh. All right, so there's obviously some sort of a separation here. I mean, we know that most likely, like I said, if you're watching, separation. I feel like either one or both of you have a third party situation. And it certainly could be, a family. A third party doesn't have to be a karmic partner or somebody that you're physically with, but that vibe is strongly coming across here. Like your heart really isn't fully open. That's maybe why the Malachite is here. Your heart isn't fully open to give yourself to this person. And, the shadow that's here is secondary. Like you and or your person, you're not putting each other first. We've got, as far as the Heal Yourself card, we've got Wild. It's kind of like this, she's this gorgeous woman, like vixen kind of looking. She's kind of like on her own journey, going out on her own. She's this like wild seductress is what she kind of looks like to me. And she's kind of, she's got like the cleavage going on, and she's just kind of like doesn't want to be tied down. She doesn't want to be tamed. She's wild. She's free. And along with that, we have Release Your Ex. So that's why I'm kind of like, you've either got some sort of a, you're in a karmic situation, you haven't quite finished off whatever was going on, and you're not, either it's fear or it's just lessons that still need to be learned in this dynamic before you can evolve, to this next level of like a 5D connection. But I do see, well, it says the time has come to clear your energy. I feel like once the releasing of whatever this karmic situation is, whatever, releasing your ex, clearing out, even if it's just your energy, the ex could even be past life stuff or past hurts to where your heart isn't healed, to where you're not ready to commit to this person. Okay. You or them. But I'm getting that once you do this work to tame this kind of whatever this is, be it your heart being just not wanting to be, um, there's something about you not wanting to maybe focus on the pain and the shadows that are coming up. Or maybe you're wanting, not to go inward, or you're just wanting to have fun right now. You're wanting to go out and maybe you have amazing sex with your ex. It doesn't have to be that, but I'm just kind of getting that vibe. And it's something you're not ready to let go of. And so until like, and I went through this, like 3 years ago, where it's like, well, my twin and I aren't going to be together. So I'm just going to go out. I'm going to have fun and I'm going to enjoy my life and live my life with no attachments, no commitments, but to my ex. And the thing is, like, even though you might be on the same page with them in that situation, if you're energetically tied to someone, if you're physically sharing your body with them, you're sharing your time, you're sharing your energy, you're attached, even if your heart isn't, you know what I mean? And so you can't, in this separation, and it's like, I kept saying, well, if my twin would just commit to me, like, I would choose him. Like, I would choose him in a heartbeat, over anyone else. Well, it's like, no, you can't. I couldn't. I mean, my higher self had guided me and said, you know what, you can't keep doing this. Little did I know how long it was going to be. Like, once I said, you know what, I'm going to become celibate. I'm not going to pursue anyone else. And I tried. Don't get me wrong. I tried several times. That shadow kept rearing up. But you can't get a proposal or a proposition from your beloved and in the separation if you're making them secondary. And even though you say, yes, I would choose them in a heartbeat, they knock on my door, like, I'm going to go out with them. Well, it doesn't work that way. You have to choose yourself first for a long time. Sometimes, I mean, it depends on how hard you do the work, and how it took me a long time and a lot of lessons, and I had a lot of past life karma to clear. I'm still working on stuff, but they can't choose you until you choose you. I don't know if that makes sense, but so the message coming through from the twin flame messages by Mystic Moon is it possible to forgive and forget? So I don't know, again, if they're the one that has the ex that needs to be released, or you do, or you both do, but I think they're saying they're willing to forgive you for whatever happened. Okay. And they're hoping that if you have a reason to be upset with them, that they need to be forgiven, that you can do the same. The Eight of Wands is here. And again, we've got the proposition card, the forgive and forget, the Eight of Wands. And I think that once you let go of this, whatever this situation is that's holding you back, where you're not choosing yourself, again, I'm getting a sexual vibe, or spending time with someone else, but it could be an addiction, as far as alcohol, it could be work, whatever it is, you're focusing so much on outward things that your person's not able to come forward. And you may be marrying each other, okay? So Eight of Wands is a communication card. Once this is released, whatever the situation is, I feel like it's going to usher things forward. I'm not saying they're going to just show up at your door and propose like the next day, but you never know, right? If that's the future that you want, is this, you're not wanting this, you've got to choose yourself. Their message from the Angelic Revelation card, the Naked Flame Healing messages. I don't tell you this, but the messages you send me mean the world to me. I have realized just how deep our connection is and how well you know me. I believe we are one. You make me feel there's hope and guide my way through the dark with your love and light. I love you to infinity. That sure sounds like a twin flame, doesn't it? So, they may be reading your messages and they just don't respond because they're with someone, or maybe they don't feel like you're sincere or they're afraid because it's like, well, she's with somebody else, or they're just energetically sensing that, that's not the right time. So what we have for the Divine Feminine Healing, I have faith that the universe is guiding me towards what is best for me. Support. So, and then this is a green color with the heart on it. So again, I would encourage you to work with some malachite, work on some heart chakra healing. Definitely going inward and try to cut and clear away anything you can. If whatever it could be, if it's not resonating for you, that's an actual physical person that you need to let go of. What pattern is it? What is it that you're not facing? You've got to show up for yourself and choose yourself, not make yourself secondary, because if you keep putting yourself second and going outward and not asking for support from the divine and the universe, your person's going to keep choosing you second, not choosing you or not showing up for you. So I know that that can be triggering, and I've been there, and I've been on this journey. I've been there so many times and gotten so frustrated, and it's not for the faint of heart. It is hard. It is gut wrenching at times, but yet it's so beautiful and so rewarding. So I would encourage you, if you're stuck on your journey, or you want to talk through this, I do offer spiritual counseling sessions with or without tarot. We can just talk about the twin flame journey. We can pull some cards like we just did here, or we can just talk about where you are and maybe what some work and wounds and how to work through some of those things if you'd like. So that information's down below. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope these messages were helpful, and until next time, take care.